It's always beautiful broadcasting to you live from Cape Town, because the shots that we get are flawless, aren't they? They're just magnificent. And there, Groote Schuur is where we're broadcasting from. So you're seeing these magnificent visuals from our camera that's on top of one of the roofs to just give you that aerial shot of this magnificent location. How news has changed. You know, news has changed so much that, you know, you'll tune in to television to see the news as a nice thing and to see some visuals. But social media, you name it, it is there. It's at the tip of your fingers that you're able to see things when and how you want to. However, when this procedure was performed 50 years ago, you'll remember South Africa didn't even have television. Telephones were something that, you know, were those old little things that our children don't even recognize these days. But now think of it this way. We used to have a program here in South Africa, what we used to rely on news. And I'm sure many of you will remember when I tell you the name African Mirror. It was that South African produced production and the world's longest running commercial newsreel. It was a regular. You remember when you used to go to the cinemas and there was this big thing that used to come up before the movie was shown and it would show you what the news was? Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And that's how South Africans actually got to learn about this breaking news story when it came to a visual medium. Let's take you back 50 years. Take a look at this.
The world's first heart transplant has been performed. Medical history has been made in South Africa. Newspapers everywhere carry banner headlines, and from medical men as far away as the Soviet Union, there is acclaim for the dramatic breakthrough. Groote Schuur Hospital in the Cape is now the focal point of world attention, and these are the men responsible. Dr. Marius Barnard, Dr. M.C. Botha, Professor Jannie Louw, Professor Chris Barnard, and Mr. John van Heerden. There are thousands of telegrams of congratulation and a battery of television and motion picture cameramen anxious for interviews.
At Groote Schuur Hospital in the Cape, the African Mirror asked Professor Chris Barnard to speak to the people of South Africa.
Open.
I welcome this opportunity to have a talk to the public of South Africa and to introduce some of the members of the heart transplant team to the public. I have Dr. M.C. Botha here, Professor Val Schreer. Mr. van Heerden operated the heart-lung machine during the heart transplantation. Dr. Ozinski was the senior anesthetist during the operation, and Mr. Hewitson, a senior surgeon, was my right-hand man during the transplantation. These members have been with me for a long time. We've been working approximately together for 10 years, and during the past 3 years, we've been concentrating on the problems of heart transplantation. I'd like to thank the public for their support. As they can see, this has been teamwork, and as a team, we would like to thank them very much.
There you have it. So that's how South Africa saw and heard about this heart transplant that took place. And you of course do know, I mean, this was all happening during the apartheid years. So when the first heart transplant, actually there was a donor before the one that was used in the patient Louis. And now that donor was actually a colored man, and Professor Barnard actually refused to use that heart, saying that it wasn't going to be the right thing because he didn't want to look as if he was just using a black man's organs. That was not going to be it. He wanted to ensure that the world didn't think that this was anything other than what it was, just a surgery of what it was. They were afraid of being accused of experimenting on black people, and he didn't want that to happen. So that was quite an interesting angle on that. I want to talk to, very quickly, a person now who has had a heart transplant, and not years ago, in fact, months ago. Samele Kalane is here with us. You had this heart transplant done almost 3 months ago. I mean, it'll be 3 months on the 10th of this month.
Just a point of correction, it will be a year and 3 months.
Okay, so it wasn't this year, it was last year that you had it done. Okay, because I was about to say, for a man who it hasn't even been 3 months, how are you feeling, by the way?
Fantastic, and it's a miracle to be alive.
Yeah. It must be. Talk to us about your problems. So how long were you going through heart issues, and how long were you on that waiting list for before you found a recipient?
Felt weak and powerless in 2013, and from there it has been a down way up until I had to retire medically because I could not even bath and do anything for myself. All I needed was assistance. I was hospitalized more than 7 times, and the doctors just giving me ability to be able to do what a normal man have to do for himself.
Yeah. So you had this operation. Your recovery, was it quite quick? Was it difficult to recover?
It was a miracle. It was quite quick. I still don't believe this is me, even today.
Yeah. Do you feel different? Are you a different person? Do you feel differently to how you did before?
Definitely, I feel different. I appreciate life more, and I treasure every moment of my life, and I value human beings, particularly the medical profession, more than I used to be.
Indeed. Final question, do you know who the donor was?
Unfortunately, I don't know, and I've endeavored to know, but it is part of the profession that we should not know.
You'll never know who it is. Well, it's wonderful to know that you have a beautiful beating heart inside of you, and hopefully a long, fruitful life ahead of you.
Definitely, indeed. It is indeed a miracle.
Isn't it a stunning story? Thank you. And I couldn't think of a better way to end off this beautiful broadcast that we've had for you. Samele Kalane, he's a recent heart transplant recipient, and he's doing well. He looks great with this whole new lease on life. I'm going to say goodbye to you. It's been a beautiful broadcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to leave you with some music from Recipient. Shap shap. Tada.